welcome to Inside ICSD with Dr. Brown, a show with Superintendent Luvelle Brown that takes a look inside the Ithaca City School District. I'm Emily Powers, a senior at Ithaca High School, and our show is produced by my fellow English and digital media classmates at Ithaca High School. I'm joined today by Dr. Brown, Superintendent of Schools.
Hi, thank you, Emily, and I'm also here with Director of Technology, Mr. Dom Lisi.
I have some questions for you. What is the one-to-one initiative?
Well, that's a great question, and I would like to take an opportunity to clear up some misinformation. We haven't branded this initiative, and we don't really refer to it as a one-to-one initiative. We will be doing some things differently next year with technology. What we have branded, and what we do have a name for, is our vision and mission. We're an organization of 6,000 plus thinkers, and we're here to engage, educate, and empower. And we are constantly looking for ways to do that better. One of those ways is to put a device into the hands of every young person. We know that young people come into our classrooms every day with the devices, their own devices. If we did need to name an initiative, we would probably call it a 10-to-1 initiative because young people have so many devices already on them. But what we are doing here as an organization is creating a common platform to put a device into every young person's hand, but also support that with some professional development and conversation with educators about how to facilitate a conversation using these digital tools that our young people are using every day to collaborate, engage, to create, to personalize their learning experience. So it's not really a one-to-one initiative of sorts, it's just us constantly looking to improve what we do for young people. And right now we're looking to provide them access to digital tools.
So how will the Chromebook help students?
In many ways, but Mr. Lisi, you want to step in?
Well, I think, Emily, thanks for having me on the show here today. I think one of the things that we're looking at is it provides equitable access for every student, so that the collaborative, communicative tools that we're looking for in 21st century learning, this makes it available to every student.
I've heard that the school is looking at Chromebooks. Why is it this computer in particular?
Chromebooks are very cost effective. They're easy to manage and support. Technically very simple to manage. And I think we're looking at something that we can sustain for the long term rather than a short-term fix.
Okay. Have you communicated with teachers to what they think looking for in students' computer?
Yeah, we're constantly talking with our educators. For this particular initiative, we've been having an ongoing conversation for about 2 years now, engaging our educators on how to collaborate better, how to engage our young people better. We put together a group of educators that represented every one of our buildings, and we had them come to the table to actually give us information about what they would want to see in a tool deployment like the one we're about to embark upon. So we've received a lot of feedback from teachers. Last year I met with every staff in every department as we talked about how we need to continuously improve meeting the needs of our learners, and technology was a big part of that. And during those conversations they provided feedback on the kind of tools and devices and approaches they wanted us to use.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lisi, what fueled the decision to give K-3 iPads and Dr. Brown, and older students Chromebooks?
But you started, Mr. Lisi can answer that question.
Yeah, one of the reasons, there's a practical piece to this as well. There are approximately 1,500 iPads already in the district. So we thought, how can we utilize the tools that are already here? So we thought, iPads are touch sensitive, so it makes sense for younger students to use those. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to reallocate those to the K-3 students. And then Chromebooks, again, we've talked about how they make sense for students in general.
Where does the funding come from for these Chromebooks?
Great question, and another area that folks tend to be confused about. I've been a part of 5 budget cycles here in my tenure as superintendent, and we've yet to raise our technology budget. We have about $400,000 a year in hardware monies that we spend. Because of our abilities to leverage BOCES leases now, we're leasing our devices. We're receiving a significant amount of state aid back on every dollar we spend. And we've found efficiencies in other areas. So we've been able to use the same line item for technology, but significantly increase the number of tools we have in our schools. The age of those devices is much less than it used to be. We used to be around a 10-year average as far as how old the machines are. Now we're about 5 years old or less. And again, we're moving towards more of a one-to-one deployment as opposed to a 9-to-1 where we were about 5 years ago. So The money is the monies that have been allocated just for technology spending. We have not increased that line at all. It's about $400,000 in hardware. And from our perspective, and we've been recognized for this nationally, have been very, very efficient and effective in how we've utilized those dollars.
Mr. Lisi, will the added number of computers affect the network?
You know, one of the things that we looked at when we devised this program was how could we become more efficient and effective with the tools that we have, and what could we remove from the field that would help us manage those better. So part of this program is to also remove computers that are older and take those off the network. So we're really not adding more, we would essentially be replacing.
How will the students take advantage of Google Apps for education to help them?
Well, we're talking about a common platform, and as part of those conversations I facilitated last year with all staffs and departments, we put up on the screen all the words that we say we want to have happen in the verbs that we want to see happen in our classrooms: collaborate, create, personalize. So those key verbs will still be the things we focus on in our classrooms. What we also talked about during those conversations were the different free apps that were available. We talked about everything from Edmodo to Evernote to Skype. And we were all over the place as far as what we were using as far as tools. Some classes using one tool, another using a different tool, some not supported, others being supported. So moving to Google Apps for Education, we have a common platform so we can focus our PD efforts now. And it's a very robust platform that has been tailored to meet the needs of the K-12 environment. So it's very, very, very efficient. It's been tried out in school districts all over the country. So we have a already embedded professional learning community where we can talk to folks all over the country and regionally and locally and within our buildings that are using the tool. So an efficient way, a common platform to do the things that we know we need to do anyway.
Thank you. Mr. Lisi, how will the infrastructure be managed to update students' computers?
One of the benefits of Chromebooks is the fact that it's based on a browser rather than an operating system. So we don't actually have to functionally update them. They update themselves through Google, through the platform, which is great for us because we're trying to be much more effective and efficient.
Will students have resources to refer to when they're having technical difficulties?
They will. They will. So we're working on a guide for students that they would actually be able to access, as well as giving students access to our call bank and our tech center.
Do you know how the students would be able to take advantage of the Google Apps for their education to help them?
Yeah, I think Dr. Brown mentioned that fairly clearly, but I think, again, it's important to reiterate the importance of having a common venue for communication, collaboration, and creativity. And I think that Google Apps helps you do that.
Thanks to Dom Lisi for joining us today. And be sure to share your comments and suggestions for the show with us by email at ihswred@gmail.com and continue the conversation on Twitter by using the hashtag InsideICSD.
Thank you.
Thank you.